All right, let's take a look at question E. Very last one. Um, okay, same thing as I've been doing in the other videos. I'm going to take a quick pass, write down some of the variables that I see, then read the question, and then come back and sort of look and analyze the question a little better. So I'm going to start by taking a look how many variables we have. We've got val, I almost said vol, val, k is going to be in the loop, and that's it. Only two. That's nice. And then I'm going to read the question. So now, how many times is the string surprise printed out as a result of executing the code segment? So how many times is this line going to run? This is one that, as you can sort of see here, we can range from either doing this 3 times to 18 times, which typically means that we can hopefully make some generalizations after running it 1 time. We can see how many times does this thing run when this thing runs. That will make it a little bit easier because then we can just multiply. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's say this line right here, val equals 1, and then we have a while loop, and this is going to continue running. While val is less than or equal to 6. So that means if, barring any sort of other changes, if I'm just looping 1 at a time, which this one is eventually going to do, as we can see, as a val plus plus, how many times is this going to run? Well, it's going to start at 1, and it's going to include 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means it's going to run 6 times. I had to count myself. 6 times. So this is going to run, times 6. Run 6 times. All right. Now let's look at the next line of code inside of the while loop. It is the for loop. And this is going from 0, k equals 0, up until and including 2. Up into and including 2. So that means whatever is inside this code, how many times is this going to run? So it's going to run 0, 1, 2, which is how many numbers? 3 numbers. So that means this is going to run 3 times. So let's do one pass, and then I'll show you how to generalize and not have to do any more of them. So again, we start with while val is less than or equal to 6, which works because val is 1. Then we go inside the for loop and we say, all right, k equals 0, it's less than or equal to 2. When that's done, k plus plus. So we're going to go inside and system.out.print surprise. Cool. K is 0. We increment 1 more because now we're done with the code inside of it. So we start all over again. And now our k is 1. 1 is less than or equal to 2. So it's going to do the printing yet again. Surprise. Oop, I can't spell. Surprise. And then we're going to loop again. K is equal to 2. K is less than or equal to 2 because they're equal. So it's going to print out surprise yet again. Surprise. Wow, I really can't spell. Surprise. And now it's going to increment 1 more time. 3 is no longer less than or equal to 2. So this loop is now done. I can erase k. It no longer exists because I'm outside. And now I'm going to increment val down here to be 2. And I will start this whole process all over again. So I'm not going to do any more passes of this because I want you to notice one thing. For every val, how many times is the inner loop going to print out surprise? We can see here, when val was 1, it printed out surprise 3 times. So that means for every 1 iteration of the while loop, the inner one is going to run 3 times. So what does that mean? That means that when val is 1, it'll be 3. When val is 2, it'll be 6. When val is 3, it'll be 9. When val is 4, it'll be 12, and so on and so forth until val is 6, in which case it will be, what am I doing? 24. No, sorry, 18. How could we maybe have saved ourselves even more work? Well, we could have started here and said, all right, this is running 6 times. This is running 3 times. So if we just multiply these 2 together, it gives us 18. And that is my hint for you. If we have a loop inside of a loop, and we want to calculate how many times it runs, you just multiply the inner amount of times times the outer amount of times, and that will give you the total amount of times that any of the loops will run. So I hope that helps. As you can see here, the answer is 18. I super duper hope that you didn't do all 18 of these prints out because that would be tedious. And I hope this gives you some quick tricks to be able to solve these in the future. All right.